Sup nerds, and welcome back to the Helpware Nerds YouTube channel. Today we're reacting to the overview of Super Robot Wars games. I've been told that this is better for newcomers than what we did earlier on Super Robot Wars and Mecha Anime in general. This was requested by Kenneth Mana and voted on by you in our community poll. This is the last one on that community poll, so there will be a new community poll coming up following this later on in the week, so stay tuned for that with new options for you guys to choose from, so that should be fun. But with that being said, let's dive into this and see if we can learn more about Mecha Anime and the Super Robot Wars game franchise as a whole. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is all about and seeing if we can pick up some more and learning a little bit more about this in general.
I honestly never thought I'd see the day.
Looks like this is going to be a guy talking us through this. We'll react to this the best we can.
Yeah, the Super Robot Tyson, or rather Super Robot Wars, series is sadly not given its due in the Western market.
So it seems like it's a rare thing that Super Robot Wars has got multiple translated games then.
The games being tactical RPGs crossing over every mecha series they can.
So Super Robot Wars games are just a bunch of like tactical RPGs with the animes in mind created into video games.
So there really have not been many good giant robot anime, or even series involving giant robots since the early side of the 2010s.
So after the 2010s, the super robot anime genre kind of died off then, according to this guy.
Only the uninformed say the genre is dying, but there's a lot less engagement than there once was.
Or at least the engagement's not there.
Bandai Entertainment used to be the main importer of such series and gave them equal attention, and that Bandai division has been dead a decade.
So it's because the distribution company is no longer the distribution company, which means the attention is now not being spread equally. That kind of sucks if you're a Super Mega Robot Wars fan then, because the show seems to have a dedicated fan base to even get anything. That's not really fair.
Though, God forbid one of those shows gets taken by Aniplex, as
What's Aniplex? I might be out of the loop on that one.
I can honestly go on with what's been represented and mashed up over the years into these games, as it is almost every Japanese series with a robot or power armor.
That's pretty cool, mashing a bunch of different super robots together.
They started to import the games in 2016 to the Asian English markets.
So the games only came over to the English market after 2016. That makes a lot of sense then.
I've seen some of the Super Robot Wars' franchise scenarios done by fanfic writers. And, well, I hold them as examples as how such should be done.
That's cool. So some fanfics have actually been able to create their own stories while still paying homage to the original without messing up the actual canon. That's really cool.
What is changed is usually done with intent to mediate, fix, or downplay widely accepted flaws and failings in the source material.
Oh, wow. So if they do change something, it's usually done so to address flaws that people have noticed within the actual source material. At least to what this guy has pointed out. I like that. Obviously, that won't be the case for every single thing, but at least for what this guy's noticed.
The fans like something about a series, the writers of the games try to understand why they liked it and embrace that, and not spitefully subvert or go against that for what their own vision would be.
I do like that. If the writers of the games are trying to go with the grain instead of going away from the grain. It does kind of suck when you get a fandom that is really liked and then they transfer writers and they move away from what made the show great. Take the live action Avatar and the animated Avatar.
Well, as anyone who's gotten a content ID claim on YouTube knows, copyright law with regards to right to use is all screwed up.
It's very awkward on what you are allowed to use and what you're not.
Have held their license in a stranglehold ever since. Their abuse of those intellectual property rights is very well documented and affected a wide host of other series.
This is why legal niches can mess with things. It's a pain in the arse, really.
Which the owners are not happy about, as since they can't get it exported, they're not making any more Macross entries anymore.
Oh wow, so they even pissed off the original creator of the work. That's not great at all.
For other victims of Harmony Gold, they went after Transformers due to the character Jetfire having his design originally be based off of Macross Valkyrie.
What? Are you joking me?
Yes, Hasbro, the company that had legally purchased the right to use the likeness and distribute the toy from the owners, got sued by someone who only bought a license for everything but that toy.
That is ridiculous.
A court finally shut them down on it and found all of their suits collectively frivolous and without legal grounds from their start in the 80s.
Thank God the law actually helped on this one. Not that I actually want to help Hasbro as a D&D player and a Magic player, but like at least that side was helpful.
And Harmony Gold's lawsuits repeatedly put the owners of that property out of business. Battletech being sold off again and again with the lawsuits only to follow to the new holders.
Harmony Gold sound like greedy tyrants.
Which even Macross's owners directly said they did not and never had the right to enforce ownership over.
I'm glad that the owners don't agree with what Harmony Gold are doing on this.
Even when they lost the lawsuits, it was written into the contract with Tatsunoko that any legal expenses incurred as part of their enforcement of the content's copyright on their behalf would be automatically deducted from Harmony Gold's licensing costs.
That is just pure, unfiltered greed.
Thanks to idiots giving Harmony Gold money from their various crowdfunding campaigns, and Funimation agreeing to stream Robotech after their ability to sue anyone ever again was permanently destroyed.
Why would Funimation do that, and why were people crowdfunding these people? I don't understand this. Can someone explain that?
For all intents and purposes, Harmony Gold murdered 2 franchises and harmed multiple others because of licensing and royalties they weren't even paying for, nor
This is just pure evil.
they would no longer oppose Macross and its sequel series from seeing unedited imports.
Hey, cheer!
On Harmony Gold's payroll, literally to this day, still Macross art assets that were made outside the confines of this deal, and even those made by fans.
That is not good at all.
Was unable to capitalize on it due to Harmony Gold abusing their distribution license in ways they, as I just explained was proven in retrospect, legally had no right to.
Wow, that is insane though.
Toxic capitalism standard operating procedure, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, capitalism always ruins everything.
Bandai of America, in specific, became legitimately that incompetent at video game imports.
So it wasn't just all this going on with Harmony Gold. Bandai of America just sucked at importing things as well. To the point where the Japanese department called them out.
So it reached the point that the company no longer had trust in them to do it right, and began to produce international physical release versions of many of their games with the assistance of their Southern Asian division.
Bandai of America are really that bad that other countries are taking it upon themselves to make it possible for English players to be able to play their games.
They have started to make it a staple that their games include either by default an English language option layered over the actual Japanese dialogue, or otherwise allow for a patch to be downloaded to get around their troublesome middlemen.
That's cool.
Yeah, the head branch has actually been doing it themselves for over half a decade now, and done so by showing everyone how the hell it should be done.
That is great that the head branch has basically said, you guys suck, we're gonna do the job.
As part of working on these games, actually took the time to find as many of the series part of the games as possible, and sat down to watch what they could to make sure they got the lore, terminology, and voices of the characters as close to right as they could.
They've put so much work into it to make sure that they've been able to give the right names for stuff with the English translations and stuff. Wow.
The only other major screw-up the translation team made, which in the game, protagonist Gai Shishio's name is spelled as G-U-Y, instead of the official romanization of G-A-I.
I get that that would be annoying. I would find that annoying if I was a fan, but it's not that big of a issue.
And it would be hypocritical to be harsh to them about this when they otherwise did go through all this effort to do right by these series for just some minor mistakes and differences that have rational reasons for why they can and do exist.
There we go. We've got some accountability there.
A reasonable answer for everything, and honestly, sometimes that's all it takes. Thus, I'm still looking forward to more translated Super Robot Wars projects now from this team, which...
Yeah, so it's just an honest mistake.
Curse you, Region Lock DLC!
The region lock, it still applies to the DLCs.
The more recent Super Robot Wars games have been re-released to the Nintendo Switch and Steam, with versions that do include all the DLC released.
So you can get them in a different format.
I would like to list off a few series I would like to see featured in a main series game at some point in the future.
Yeah, so that was just a list of his suggestions. As I don't really know much about the game, I didn't really feel confident commenting on that. So if you want to see his suggestions, I will link the video down below so you can actually see that for yourself, and maybe let me know what you guys think of those suggestions in our comment section.
Super Robot Wars is a property that keeps as much of the mecha genre alive and in people's minds with the recreations of popular stories and spotlight of series and characters.
So that was the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed, and we'll get to final thoughts in just a moment. So, final thoughts are that I think I still have a lot to learn. Yes, I learned quite a bit, especially about Harmony Gold and how they've basically been gatekeeping a lot of the stuff, but it does seem to be on the mend, while in quotation marks, with some of the games being able to come over now with English translations, though Bandai America does still seem to be a bit of a fuck up from what he's told us. There was a lot of information coming thick and fast in this, so it will take me some time to digest, and I do feel like this one was a very difficult one to react to, so I don't know if this will be the best reaction video that we've got out here, but I do know that there is a lot here that I need to learn on this specific genre, and what I did learn was quite enjoyable and did get me wanting to dive more into this. And let me know, do you think we should learn more on this? Do you think we should play some of these Super Robot War games and stuff like that? Because this was enjoyable to learn about. It was just a lot of information very quickly. So let me know if you guys have any thoughts on this as well. But all I can say is that Harmony Gold seemed to stink, and I'm really glad that Super Robot Wars does now have some English translation and isn't region locked as it was before, though it does seem that the DLCs still are. With that being said, I'm going to call this video to an end. And as always, if you have liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to stay up to date when we drop new content. And yeah, stay happy, stay healthy, and most of all, stay nerdy.